Hey friends, so today I want to talk to you a little bit more about numerology. It's something that I've dropped here and there in different Genius Talks or IG Lives with other people. I've hinted at it in some other posts, and now I'm going to start bringing more of this knowledge to all of you here through things like Genius Talks on IG Live or in my reels or in posts. So that way you can begin to learn a little bit more about the magic of numbers. So what numerology is the actual study of the vibrations of the numbers 1 through 9 and how those numbers actually create cycles for us collectively and personally. And there's a whole numerology report that we could even do together if you're interested. More on that later, or you can DM me and ask me about it if you're interested. But it's similar to an astrology report or personality report that uses numbers to tell you more about your life path, like what your purpose is, where your struggles are going to be, where your strengths are. Also, we do something called like your year cycle, so which I'm going to touch on a little bit today for the collective. What we would do with that personally is using your birth date, figuring out what year number you're in. So that also can help you with any endeavors, both personally and professionally throughout the year, like where you're at and how we can really maximize the different energy that's being given to you right now. So the way that I will teach you a little bit about this is talking about the collective year's energy. So the world itself, the year 2020, is a number 4. How I get that is 2020, we break it down, we add up the individual numbers, 2 plus 0, 2 plus 0, till you get 4. If it was a bigger number, like if it added up to 15, then we would minimize it even more by adding up the 1 and the 5, till we got 6, for instance, in another year. But this past year was a year 4. Next year, 2021, is a year 5. So it goes in cycles of 9. So then we have 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it goes back to a 1. So everything goes in these 9-year cycles. What these cycles look like are not just a circle, not just a line, it's not flat, it's not down, it's all of it. So we have our year 9 and 1, which starts up here on a peak, and then it goes down into your year 2, 3, and then 4. 4 is a valley in the peaks and valleys. So that's where we've been this year. What does that mean? It's been a year of clearing out, consolidation. The theme of the 4-year is consolidation. Then what we're going into is year 5, which means we're starting to climb the mountain again. It's a little smaller of a mountain than the 9 mountain, but it's still a climb. A year of freedom, a year of personal expression. And that leads us into this mini peak of a year 6, which will be 2022, which will be all about creativity, like high-level creativity. Then we have a 7, which is a little mini peak, or a little mini valley. And then we do 8, which lifts us back up into the 9 and the 1. So a little bit more, did a little bit of like channeling on this previously and wanted to share the messaging very detailed with you about what the 4 and the 5 mean and how this transition is going to assist us and what's going on with it. So year 4 is all about consolidation and clearing, especially with focus on the material and the physical space, which is why we're seeing things like a pandemic, why we're seeing our systems, our structures literally shaking out their foundation, because 4 is also the square, literally the 4 points of the square, the foundation. And remember, we're looking at the world number, so your number personally might be different. Like for instance, I'm in a year 5 in 2020 and transitioning into my year 6. But I'm still gonna feel, we're all gonna feel collectively the effects of this year 4. So as we are paving, so why we need to do this clearing out, why does there need to be this valley on the way to the peaks? Well, if we just constantly climbed and climbed and climbed, we'd just be packing on more shit and never actually get anywhere because we'd be weighing ourselves down. So in 2019, when it was my personal 4 year, I did a lot of personal clearing. As this is a 2020 collective year, we're doing a lot of collective clearing. And that's guiding us into integration. This has been a really important year for integration, integrating with our emotional and spiritual selves. We've seen so much focus on the material and the physical, and that's imbalanced. We need the integration period with our emotions, with our spiritual needs, which is why there's been a bigger push and focus on rest and relaxation and being in the discomfort of the shadows of the valley, of being in the shadows of these mountains and seeing like, oh, what is it that I want to, like, I don't want to clear this stuff out, but I have to. But it's part of it. And for those of you that aren't honoring that rest and relaxation, that's why you're feeling disharmony. We have to honor the need to rest, to integrate. So we can be prepared for our year 5, our year of freedom. So from the valley of 4 to the peak of 6, which is going to be 2022, we find the joy of the climb through personal expression and a deeper care for our emotional and spiritual needs, both individually and collectively. So this is a great year to launch a new endeavor, 2021 is, whether personally or professionally, if you are more in tune with your intuition versus what the external world is telling you. And with the idea in mind too that what you're doing, even if it's individual, is affecting the collective. Because when we step into this 5 energy, very similar to, it's no coincidence, it's aligned with the age of Aquarius, Aquarians being all about humanitarianism and the collective. We need to honor that too when we're looking even at numerology. There is a reason that there's a crossover there of focusing on how can I feel more free and how can I help others feel more free, which is why we're seeing, again, the break of the structures in 2020. So in 2021, more people can find that freedom and equality. So looking at your new endeavors this year, how are you bringing in that freedom, that personal expression in so others can also feel that inspiration? It's also a great year to honor like artistic expression, and rather than thinking of it as something that's for monetary gain, think of it as just for your freedom, your liberation. So if we listen to this energy, this next year, it'll be a collective win, feeling like we will reach a collective peak, both with more creativity and love. So what that means is if we honor this energy of year 5 of climbing with more intention of who we are and how we want to express ourselves, come 2022 year 6, we're all going to see a really big collective win. We're all going to climb and stand on top of that mountain together and feel more creatively ourselves than we've ever felt before as a collective. Cool. So year 4 has been a year of consolidation. We've actually already been feeling energies of year 5 through these last couple months, which is why we've all been feeling some shifting. So let's honor this freedom in year 5. So when year 6 comes, we can all feel even more aligned and with our higher selves. That's it for today's little genius talk about numerology, the current year energies that are shifting. If you have any questions, comment below, shoot me a DM. Let me know maybe more of what you want to hear about in terms of numerology, and I'll be dropping in to share some more knowledge too. Mwah! I love you all.